Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, in the final weeks before its release, has released 16 official posters. Some from Marvel Studios, some done in collaboration with other distributors, but all of them sharing some interesting visual themes that really surprised me. Some even containing a few details unlocking some key truths about this story. In this video, I'm gonna break down all 16 posters for the interesting visual secrets. It's something we like to do here at New Rockstars ahead of Marvel movies in our mission to break down everything. But for a more pointed film analysis experience, subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, in which I'll be sharing some weekly investigations into films that you love, launching the same day as Quantumania on February 17th. Okay, let's start with Marvel Studios' official poster, released with the trailer last week. Aesthetically, I think that's my favorite just in terms of layout and the old school painted texture of all the characters, but a few things to point out for this one. On the right, on a floating crag, is that glowing cylinder-headed figure with the staff, who I think might be associated with the Freedom Fighters group. That's the one led by Katie O'Brien's character Jentorra, and might be associated with William Jackson Harper's telepath character Quaz or Quaz, but I think that guy with the staff might actually be David Dastmalchian's character Veb, V-E-B. Since Dastmalchian is not playing Kurt in the sequel, he's gonna be playing a new character, and so that there's no confusion, I'm guessing it's gonna be a CGI character. But also on this poster behind them is a brushstroke version of one of those orange flowing energy columns that we've seen throughout the trailer, which I think might be part of the natural energy resources that Kang has been drilling in the fields of the quantum realm, which has upended Jentorra's people and antagonized them against Kang. I'm gonna go more into this in another video coming soon. But to the left side of the poster is the pyramid-shaped structure that we've seen in several trailers, but with the point of that pyramid now glowing like a star. This was the detail I went into in my recent breakdown of the IMAX 4K footage, and how in the recent trailer, that part of the pyramid was turned off and decolored compared to previous trailers. But in this poster, in fact many of the posters, this structure appears again and again and again, and the tip of the pyramid is always lit for all of them. The fact that we're seeing this structure so much makes me wonder if the rings that float up around this pyramid are actually not part of it, but maybe the mechanism connected to the giant golden bands that Scott is trying to shrink and steal. These bands could activate this entire pyramid as part of Kang's ship, a vast battleship that can move through time. And the chair that we see him in might actually be the cockpit of that ship. Moving on to the next poster, before the trailer released last week, the studio released another poster with just Scott, Hope, and Cassie facing right and Kang facing left behind them, and an overall more militarized vibe to it. Like, this is the only poster that Kang only appears in armor and helmet, and surrounding them are all the fighters of Kang's fleet, and to the right, over Hope's shoulder, is that manta ray looking creature that Janet rides around, but framed within Scott's chest, a war is breaking out at the base of the pyramid structure. Next, Empire magazine had a cover that framed all the major characters in the palm of Kang's hand. Real D 3D had perhaps the most visually busy poster, framing it all in glowing hexagons and angular lines. Oh, hexagons are old friends. It is worth noting that ants and all insects have 6 legs, and this hexagonal structure was something specific to Yellow Jacket and Darren Cross's company, so this actually might be the only representation of MODOK we get in these posters. But also around some of the elements created by the lines is that circular written language of the quantum realm that we spotted on the golden bands. This is the only poster to have this language. The fact that Kang or the quantum realm has its own written language is pretty important. Now I know to some folks your brains are just gonna merge it with the look of the 10 rings when they light up, or the writing on Kamala's bangle, but this is an entirely separate language that is based on a circle. In the Quantumania set chair Peyton Reed tweeted last year, it used English letters with circles added to each letter, so if you just isolate the circle from it, you get an English letter. But that's not the case with the similar writing on this poster and in the trailer. It seems to be more runic. I was just out of the country on my honeymoon, and I went on Netflix over there, and I was shocked to see all the stuff that normally is there in American Netflix, but not where I was. That's why it's so important to use NordVPN. With NordVPN, I could switch my virtual location on my device with one click, letting me access streaming services from over 60 countries at no extra cost. This opens up a smorgasbord of stuff to watch that I wouldn't be able to access without NordVPN. NordVPN is also the fastest VPN out there, so you won't have to sacrifice speed for sake of your shows. It's what we use at New Rockstars offices, and let me tell you, it's fast. For the price of just one cup of coffee a month, I get to have premium cybersecurity on 6 devices and gain access to streaming services from over 60 countries at no extra cost. It's also available on every platform. To grab your exclusive NordVPN deal, go to nordvpn.com/newrockstars to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan plus a bonus gift. NordVPN is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try NordVPN completely risk-free. Just click the link in the description to get started. Now, the IMAX poster is the only group one that features Bill Murray's character, Lord Krylar, but on the right side of the poster, I think that is the guy that I think is Veb, and to the left of him, I think that's Jentorra right next to him. Then a Screen X poster that looks really cool, just mostly for the way Jonathan Majors is framed as Kang. Down the center of this poster is a blue particle stream, but when it reaches Kang's face, it aligns with the scar stretching down the right side of his face. Then a Dolby poster that features all the characters with an interesting alignment on Scott's helmet and Hope's helmet, red and yellow, with smaller Scott framed in his eyepiece and a smaller Hope and her eyepiece. Kang is both in the upper right, but then a smaller form of him is in the middle with his time chair, or what I think might be the cockpit of his battleship. Up by Scott's head is that interesting location that we've seen very little of from the trailers. It's a red illuminated area with what look like crashed ring structures. This may be the wreckage of Kang's battleship that he's trying to repair. On this poster down by Hank Pym is a rock structure with 4 figures, which I think is some combination of those freedom fighters. One of them could be William Jackson Harper as Quaz. This poster is actually pretty similar to the Fandango poster, which is basically this background without the characters added, but here you can better see an interesting texture in the lower right corner, which looks like a cellular structure under a microscope. Interesting for a movie that takes the microscopic and makes it macroscopic. Then a 4DX poster that features Scott with smaller versions of Hope and Cassie around his head, directing them where to go. But then the final 7 posters are official character posters from Marvel Studios: Scott, Hope, Kang, Cassie, Janet, Hank, and Krylar. At the center of each of these are 2 figures, I think Scott and Hope. Surrounding each of these characters are distorted versions of their faces in a fluid ribbony design pattern stretching out from them, looking a lot like the way Scott's Giant Man variant unravels out of existence in those crazy trailer shots. While in the posters this is less pronounced for Scott and for Hope, it is really evident for Kang and Cassie and some of the others. I previously pointed out how visually this evokes what it looked like when the Scarlet Witch unraveled the body of Reed Richards, but in that case I think she had to string cheese him because Reed's body is so elastic. But in this movie I like the idea that every being, every variant in the multiverse is really a tightly coiled bundle of timeline energy. So to truly eradicate or to prune someone from existence, you must unravel that knot into loose string. Which one of these is your favorite poster? Another reminder to subscribe to The Deep Dive, launching February 17th. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.